Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. Today is my make for my holiday card challenge. It's called hashtag holiday card hijinks 2024, and today's prompt was a shaker. And today we're going to make a shaker card. And I'm going to be doing it with the Lawn Fawn's Ready Set Snow Set. That was a bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, so today we're going to be making a shaker card. This is one of my favorite Christmas sets ever. It's one of the first sets that I purchased, actually. And I've made many cards with this set. And I also have the add-on for it so that it will cut out extra portions of it to make it into a shaker, like it's a shaker add-on. So I'll be using a portion of that today. And I did stamp the card base as well as a separate panel. The base wasn't necessary. I don't know why I thought it was for this technique for some reason, but it does come in handy when you're ink blending. So you can either stamp this on the base and then ink blend, or you can, you know, cut out your middle portion on your front panel and then trace around with a pencil. Either way works. But again, for some reason, I thought I needed to do it this way. I am using Simon's Positively Saturated inks, which I love because they're water reactive. So we have instant snow in the background just by splattering a little bit of water. I am going to save this piece for probably a future card, and I will be using these little like snow bits that it cuts out for the shaker. You can ink blend this background and put it on a white backdrop just so that you get those snowflakes, but I decided to ink blend and water splatter for today. And what I'm doing right now is I have like this big jar of these little sparklies. They're like iridescent, and I got them from Michael's. They're pretty small, but I do love like that little bit of shimmer that you get. You kind of just saw it there when I did that, and I'm just gluing a few of them to the background just so that they'll stay up. Sometimes when you do the shakers, everything will fall to the bottom, nothing's up top, so I like to glue things once in a while. And I added a few iridescent snowflakes, I guess. I got those from Walmart like years and years ago, and I've been using them for many cards because I don't usually put too much in my shaker. I tend to either put too much or too little in my shaker cards. I don't think I've ever put like the perfect amount, unfortunately, but we'll work on that. I also stamped the background with a Simon background stamp, and by the way, all links will be in the description below. And right now, because I stamped that background over the stamped snow globe, I am cutting out a base for it. So I just stamped it onto a brown because originally I was going to use my wood grain embossing folder to give it some texture, and then I decided not to, so I just ended up ink blending just to give it a bit of dimension and texture. And then right now I'm just kind of coloring in the little bit of white that the dye leaves, and so that it just like looks like one seamless snow globe. And I just kind of like went around the edges, and I went around the edge of the cardstock on the inside just to help it blend in. And now I am going to be stamping the images that go in it after I clean up. Today I'm just using a microfiber cloth and water. I always just use water. I also have the Hero Art scrubber block, which works great, especially when you have more detailed stamps. It just really helps get into those nooks and crannies, but once in a while I'll be lazy and I'll just grab a microfiber cloth. So I'm stamping the trees that come with the set and one of the snowmen, and I'm going to color the snowman in. For the trees, it's solid color, so I just used Simon's Pine ink from their Positively Saturated collection. And then I will use the dies to cut these out. I do have the dies for this set because, again, this is like at the beginning of my card making stage when I was buying all the coordinating dies and everything. Now that I have my brother's scan and cut, I don't do it as often, but I will sometimes, especially for these types of cards where it cuts out like center portions for shaker bits, or like any like inside snow globes. I just purchased a set to go with one of the stamp sets I purchased from Lawn Fawn last Christmas. so that I could also cut out the mini snow globe in it. But generally I don't buy dies anymore because I have my ScanNCut. But it also needs to be calibrated right now. Otherwise I could have cut these out on that as well. Once in a while, I just like to use my dies because I have them. But here I am. I have this iridescent glitter cardstock from Simon, which I'll link below as well. And I'm just use the snow hill cutout for that. And then I'm going to glue it directly onto the front of the card base. And then I will play around with placement of my trees. The little one will be tucked behind, the bigger one will be glued on top. And I actually cut a few extra layers of the snowman just to give him a bit of dimension. I was debating on leaving him outside of the snow globe, but I'm like, no, you know what? He belongs. He belongs in the snow globe, so he needs to stay there. So just to add a bit of dimension, I'm going to cut 3 more layers. I'll do 2 solid layers on the back, and then the third layer is just to kind of bring him up even with the snow hill. So I end up cutting like the head portion off and just gluing the head on that third time. That's me cutting it, and then I'm going to glue a couple layers here and then just the head, and then that just makes sure like nothing gets stuck behind him as well while he's sitting in his snow globe. And then once that's done, I'm going to, I think, use foam tape next. Oh, I'm dumping my shaker bits. I should have used an anti-static powder thing on this as well. I always try to use it on the acetate portion, but I forget to use it on the card base as well. Sometimes things do get a little staticky, especially if you're running them through your die cutting machine, because it tends to like create a little bit of static sometimes, I find. So I do add anti-static powder to the acetate, but I should have also added it to the base. And I also have a bad habit of shaking shaker cards too soon. We all get excited about our finished cards, but we need to let the glue dry. And right now I'm just doubling up my foam tape. This is the 1/16 inch thickness from Michaels, so I wanted it to be a little bit thicker just to give those shaker bits a bit more room to move around. And then we're going to take all the release paper off, attach it to the card front, and then I decide to add the sentiment. There's 2 like plaque type sentiments that come with the stamp set, and I tend to always stamp it with StazOn ink onto foil cardstock, which is what I'm doing here. Regular ink won't work. You do definitely need like something more permanent. So my StazOn is a little dry. I've had it probably for like 5 or 6 years and I've never re-inked it, but I've also not used it that much. So I should get a re-inker, and I should actually purchase the white one as well, but that's another day's problem. But I'm just gonna like stamp that until I get a solid sentiment, and then I'm gonna die cut that out and glue it onto the card. But that's pretty much our card for today, guys. Thanks again for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Join my hashtag over on Instagram and tag me in it so I can see your creations. And until next time, thanks guys. Bye.